Utomi blasts Amosun again. You are dishonest. Accountants are to have integrity. Senator Ibikunle Amosun and Pat Utomi. Pat Utomi has fired back again at Senator Ibikunle, saying the former Ogun governor lied. Utomi was quoted by the niche. Accountants are supposed to be men of integrity. I am therefore sad at the many false indications of his reaction, Utomi exclusively told the niche. The niche went further that the trouble began when Amosun admitted a contract he cancelled while he was governor was part of the reasons why a Chinese firm got a court order in France to seize Nigeria's presidential jets. Utomi then said he was also a victim of such cancellation of contract by Amosun. Utomi recounted how Amosun dribbled him and left him with a debt like he did the Chinese firm in Zhongshan, leading to the seizure of the 3 Nigerian presidential jets in France after a court gave them permission. In a post on his X handle on Sunday, Utomi said Amosun disregarded a contractual agreement he had with the previous state government like he did to the Chinese firm. He lamented that despite meeting Amosun twice, the then governor just took him on a rigmarole and left him with a debt. But reacting to the niche story, the former governor in a statement he personally signed said the professor, a former presidential candidate, was declared an enemy of the state by the House of Assembly before he became governor. Accusing Utomi of having entitlement mentality, Amosun, in the statement he sent to the niche on WhatsApp, wrote, "Before I came into office, the Ogun State House of Assembly had passed around a persona non grata on Utomi and put its resolution in the state black book. So I was curious when I became governor and called Utomi to ask why the issue was. This was entirely at my discretion and not because he reached out to me, but I reckoned that as one with some degree of name recognition, that should not be, and I wanted to know what had happened." However, responding to Amosun's claims, Utomi said in his reaction, made exclusively available to the niche on Sunday night, that accountants are supposed to be men of integrity. I am therefore sad at the many false indications of his reaction. First, besides being invited to give a lecture at the state government retreat about 20 years ago and being asked to give the inauguration lecture for Governor Abiodun about 5 years ago, the only activity that has brought me into contact with Ogun State Governor is this 15-year BOT lease. In his response, Amosun says, "I was declared a persona non grata by the Ogun House. I have just heard that for the first time today." On what account would the Ogun House do that? He said he called me on account of that. Amosun has never called me. MTN can check the records. I got his number from one Peter, who is an associate of a friend, and called him. When I got him, he said my name was not on the list of Daniel decisions he suspended. I wonder how he was the one who called me on account of the action of the Ogun House when he did not even know I had a transaction with the state. He asked that I come to Abeokuta. When I got there, he said the permanent secretary traveled to the UK for child's graduation. He summoned Yewande Amushan, his advisor, who I know to be of such pedigree she would not deny this. I arrived with my associate, Vitus Akudinobi. He then said to her, "Professor says he has a project in the Ogun Plaza, but I did not see his name in the list of land issues." In my very presence, she, Amusan, replied him that my matter was a simple straightforward transaction with OPIC. It did not merit to be listed. He then teased that they may be protecting me. He said as soon as the permanent secretary returned, all would be quickly sorted. I was working on the aggregation on fresh foods and franchising the outlets with a US group when I found someone I knew. Vitus was on a similar track with his South Africa's fruit and veg city. We decided to consolidate. We wanted a good location for a showcase outlet. Realtors led us to the OPIC Plaza in Ikeja. We negotiated a BOT deal with OPIC where we would build this plaza to OPIC requirements, run it for 15 years, and turn the whole structure back to OPIC. Simple everyday transaction. Utomi said that after they had paid most of the lease in advance and wanted to start construction, Lagos government said Ogun did not have the certificate of occupancy. He continued, it became our business at considerable cost to pursue that for them. Then followed a long trouble of building plan when Lagos was quite difficult on the matter. Amosun's stop of the whole process, which led our partners to withdraw after 6 years, amounts to multiple in losses compared to what an accountant of Omosun's stature would be making light of. Character matters. When I followed into the third year of back and forth, he invited me to Abeokuta. I went again with Vitus. He then said he had to go to Abuja and that we could talk in his car. The driver and the details were sent to an accompanying car, as was Vitus, as the governor got into the driver's seat and drove with me alone in the car up to his home in Ikeja. His wife welcomed us. Before Vitus, he said 100 million was the maximum OPIC could pay, so I should accept 100 million and write in with additional claim. Concluding his statement, Utomi said, to hear him say today that we invested less than 30 million means that he was throwing away Ogun money, a 70 million giveaway to an entitled person who ordinarily avoids doing government business to stay away from bribes. Well, what are your opinions on this? Make sure to leave them in the comments down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and make sure to turn on notifications so you can be notified when we upload daily content here on